A new plea from Savannah Guthrie as the search for her mother, Nancy, now begins a third week. With no suspect and no motive established, Savannah Guthrie still says there is hope and there is still time. She speaks directly to her mother's abductor in this new video posted on social media. Watch this.
We still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being.
The latest from investigators is authorities are waiting for the final forensic results from DNA found on a glove about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home in Arizona. Those results could come back today. The FBI says it appears to visually match, at least, the glove worn by the suspect in the doorbell cam video from the night Nancy was abducted. Still, a source close to the investigation tells CNN that there is no leading theory behind what motivated Guthrie's disappearance. Investigators are examining all possibilities, including it was a burglary gone wrong or a targeted abduction. John.
All right, with us now, former FBI agent Brianna Fox. Brianna, thank you so much for being with us. Let's start with this glove, which is being tested right now. It's out for testing. The FBI says the glove they have does match the glove seen in this doorbell video by appearance. If it comes back and there is some kind of identifiable DNA on it, what then do they do?
Right. Well, I mean, this is also a huge thing. We all had the video. We've now found this glove, and there's potential DNA on it. So obviously, we don't have that direct link yet from this glove to the scene. So that's what investigators are going to do. They said that it appears to be a visual match, but they're going to have to confirm that if they're going to get an arrest warrant and take this case to trial. Additionally, they're going to want to search through CODIS. That is the FBI's database that houses all the information for everyone arrested or DNA found at crime scenes. They're going to code through all of that. And if they don't find it, then they're going to go out to additional DNA options.
So this new video from Savannah, which I'll play without audio right here, just so people can see it, she sends this message, it's never too late, she says. Who do you think that's directed to? Why that choice of words? Why this messaging now?
I have been so moved by all of Savannah's posts, and in particular this one. I thought that the call to empathy that she has, we do this a lot in interviews and interrogations. You could be so angry and horrified by the offense that this person committed, but appealing to them as a person, trying to speak to them directly, building rapport, that's actually what gets the best results. So I thought what Savannah did was so brave, and she's trying to say to this person, I'm not mad at you. I just want my mother home. And you're still a good person if you do that. So I thought that was fantastic. It could yield great results.
And finally, over the weekend, especially early in the weekend, we were getting word of these searches that were happening in the neighborhood of Nancy Guthrie's home. You can see the home is right here. There was a search at a home, and there was a search of a vehicle not too far away. We don't know, frankly, what came of these searches, but what does it tell you that they may still be focused on this general area?
Right. There could be something like a bloodhound, something that led them to that area, and that's where the scent went cold, so to speak. So they may think, well, there's some reason to believe that she's still in this area. Additionally, they could have a lot of tips coming in, all stating we've seen things, heard things all about this area, that's really the hot zone. So it seems like they are zoning in on that, Rio Rico and the Catalina foothills. So For all we know, that's where the investigation is leading them. They just have not notified the public of that yet.
It's still been a day or two since we've seen any activity like this. We will see if it picks up again today. Brianna Fox, thank you very much.
Joining us right now is CNN Chief Media Analyst Brian Stelter and former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis. Brian, just wanted to start with you as you continue to do reporting on how this is impacting Savannah and her family and everything you've heard. Tell us more about this new video that Savannah put out.
With this video, I thought this was the hardest one to watch yet. In some ways, the most personal, the most raw. And she continues to use her Instagram feed, signaling this is personal, right? Of course it is. But signaling that she's not there using the trappings of NBC, not using the trappings of the Today Show, not relying on the fancy cameras and studio lighting. She is just there as a daughter pleading for help. I noticed a column from Washington Post columnist Monica Hess last week about this, saying, what would it be like if your professional skills, in this case Savannah's skills on TV, were suddenly required for the most crucial and terrifying personal matter? And that's exactly what we're seeing. She's having to communicate through the camera lens, trying to speak to these apparent abductors directly, telling them it's never too late to do the right thing. I found it even more heartbreaking than the earlier videos, Kate.
Yeah, and Ed, investigators looking at where things stand right now, they're testing a glove that they say appears to match what the suspect was wearing in the doorbell videos. Test results could come back today. Could a glove crack this case?
Absolutely, but some things have to line up first. The fact that they found a glove that's similar to the glove in the photo doesn't necessarily make it the right one. And it's quite common to find DNA on that type of a piece of evidence, that your hand was inside, that you were sweating in. So someone's DNA is there. The key thing right now for me is whether or not the DNA they found in the glove matches the DNA samples they said they found in the house. If they did, that will most certainly be the suspect. And then they can move to CODIS and to familial DNA to try to run this down. It could break the case wide open.
And also, with that in mind, a source tells CNN that investigators, they don't have a leading theory for why Nancy Guthrie was abducted. Does that surprise you? I mean, what could help determine a motive, short of finding said suspect and reaching a conclusion in this case?
You usually try to extrapolate a motive from the evidence you find at the scene and the activities of the individual. This one is a real head scratcher. This doesn't make any sense in any conventional kidnapping process that we're familiar with. If your motivation is money, you don't go to a TV station and demand money. If your motivation is some type of an attack on the family, then the high profile nature of this is actually detrimental to your twisted goals. So I think that's why they're having trouble trying to establish a motive here. And it may be that we're not going to get a motive until we find who was responsible for it, if ever.
Yeah. Brian, another thing that's happening now are these self-described internet sleuths and true crime streamers. They're showing up in droves, apparently, in Arizona. And now local leaders are saying that they're speaking out, saying they're doing more harm than good. One state representative just had posted, even on X, please go home, let law enforcement do their job, stop following them during SWAT operations and playing detectives. I am sick of the constant lies from those who can't even spell Tucson and clearly have never been to our city. What's going on here?
I've been noticing this as the days turn into weeks, this flock of true crime influencers. That is a real thing nowadays, and it's not all bad, it's not all good, it's just really complicated. The influencer content we're seeing from Tucson is much more raw, much more personal, often much more speculative in nature than what you're seeing from traditional media. Some of these influencers cross lines that journalists are taught to avoid for legal and ethical reasons. Sometimes there's open speculation about possible suspects, people naming names without any evidence whatsoever. And I understand why this can be appealing to some viewers. The content feels more participatory than traditional news coverage. You feel like you might be involved in solving the crime. You're putting the clues or the pieces together. That can be a powerful feeling, but it might not be a reality-based feeling. I was speaking with someone involved in the investigation who told me, some of this chatter on social media has been downright unhelpful. But the person also said to me, quote, there's a recognition that the breakthrough tip could come from anyone from anywhere. So there is an acknowledgement here that this is mostly happening in good faith. People want to help. It creates the illusion of participation, but there are definitely times when these TikTokers, these Instagrammers, these YouTubers, they have meddled or they've gotten in the way, so to speak. There's even been times when the sheriff's office have had to remind everyone not to share misinformation or order pizza delivery to the crime scene. So, you know, look, social media connectivity, it's not all bad, right? We've seen Savannah use the Instagram to share her pleas for help. But it is worth scrutinizing what happens when a crime, an actual crime, moves into the true crime genre and you have people trying to glom onto it for their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, complicated, as you said, Brian, for sure. It's good to see you. Thank you. Ed, thank you so much. It's very good to see you.